Hi, this is Allison. So in this video, I want to talk to you about some of the important financial decisions that you're going to have to make before you even decide 100% that moving to France is right for you. It's really important to have a good list of questions to ask yourself and your financial advisors before you move to France. Because especially if you've already accumulated some assets and if you have various income streams, your financial and tax situation is going to be impacted by the fact of becoming a French resident. Just to clarify one thing, by virtue of having a long stay visa of any type and coming to live in France, the long stay visa assumes that you're going to be spending at least 6 to 9 months in France every year. So that's going to mean that you're going to become a French tax resident and that France is going to have first dibs on taxing your worldwide income. Now, there is a tax treaty in place between France and the United States and between France and other countries. We're going to focus mostly on the tax treaty between France and the United States because that's the one that I know the best. But you do want to look it over and read a copy of the tax treaty and to prepare questions for your financial advisors before you actually start to plan your move. Because if you learn that there are going to be some significant tax and financial implications of your move, that is potentially going to impact your decision. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the finance module of Fast Track to France. Now, back in a past life, before I started this job of helping people move to France, I actually worked in a CPA office in France, helping a CPA firm prepare U.S. and French taxes for American clients living in France. So I was bad at that job. I did not like that job, but I did learn a lot. And it helped me to really understand a lot of the tax implications that a lot of people don't know when they first arrive. So now I think more and more people are becoming aware that if you're an American, you have to file taxes every year, you have to declare your bank accounts if they're over a certain amount, and people are generally becoming more and more aware of those restrictions. Back 10 years ago, or even longer ago, unless you sought out that information from a tax advisor, you weren't likely to know. And most people thought, well, they don't live in the U.S., they don't need to file U.S. taxes, which is not true. So what I've done in this module is I am not an accountant. I am not a qualified financial advisor. I know enough about the topics to give you the questions to ask and to help you organize your thoughts about your personal finances and potentially your business finances so that you have the right questions that you can bring to an actual professional. Now, I highly recommend visiting with and consulting with professionals who have an international view of taxes. So whether that is a CPA who's based in Paris or based in France and works with Americans or American taxes and French taxes, whether that is, an international tax firm, whether that is a certified financial planner who is certified in France, but also aware of U.S. tax issues, I really advise you to go to advisors who have an international focus. Now, the reason for that is that people who don't work with these dual nationality, dual country issues or multiple country issues, some people have had jobs and lived in other countries as well. When you have a professional advisor or a tax advisor who isn't aware of the laws in France and the laws in the U.S., then unfortunately you can get a lot of bad advice. You can have, for example, investment advisors in France advising you to invest in things which are great for French people and will help French people lower their taxes, but then cause a whole lot of headaches on the American side. So what I've done in this module is I've taken the side of the three of the most important things that you can consider from a financial perspective. There's the U.S. tax perspective, there's the French tax perspective, and of course there is the financial and estate planning perspective of what happens to you if you pass as a French resident. Now, again, we're going to mostly focus on developing the questions that are relevant to you and putting together a global overview of your financial situation so that you can then take these questions to professionals and get advice on your specific situation that you have laid out. So let me just show you what that's going to look like in terms of modules in Fast Track to France. So finances is module number 2. And this is a module that you're going to want to do. Like, the reason that I've developed this course this way is because these first 2 modules are going to really, or 3 modules are going to really impact your decision on whether or not to move to France. So in a sense, the beginning of this program is not just how can I move to France, it's also, is it a good idea for me to establish myself as a French resident long term, and is that a viable option for me? So we have an explanation of the tax treaty and the totalization agreement. We have an intro to French taxes, dealing with banks and currency exchange services, and we're also going to add a module in which is going to be U.S. taxes for international issues. But that's mostly, the U.S. tax issues are going to mostly be covered in this journal and workbook that's attached to the first module, and then in the tax treaty video. So when you enroll in Fast Track to France, this is going to be the second module, but nobody is requiring you to do them in order. And what it's going to do, again, is it's going to walk you through understanding your financial situation and the issues with international taxation, international financial and estate planning, and how certain tax rules in France might impact your financial situation once you start living in France and once you become a French resident. So again, the goal of this module is to give you an overview of the issues that could impact your decision so that then you can go consult with an actual tax professional or financial professional and make the decision that's right for you and your family. So I hope that if you are thinking about moving to France, that you will consider enrolling in this program and going through this module to make sure that it's going to be a good move for you finance-wise.